My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, and I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And we're doing like a kind of new concept for an episode today. And for the first time ever, the title of the episode probably doesn't tell you everything about what we're doing, which is like the first time. So us explaining it makes sense because we've never done this concept before. So basically, let's do a little rundown of what we decided to do. We were like, we need something fresh and new, sort of, to us. Fresh and new to us. And we were like, what should we do? And we came up with this idea that we would draw names out of a hat, sort of like a drama Secret Santa, as it were. And every person would have to tell the person they got in the hat a drama they should watch the first 2 episodes of, because we thought they would like it. And then we did. And so each of us all gave a drama to another person on the podcast, obviously, not just a random. We selected one of you listeners. It's the drama you now have to go watch. And then we watched the first 2 episodes, and then we're going to first talk about if we liked it, so if the other person did clock us correctly as to what we would enjoy, and secondly, try to figure out why they picked that for us. And then the person gets a chance to rebut and say exactly why they didn't pick that.
No,
for
you're
them.
wrong.
And be like, I think you're misinterpreting why I picked this. So, or listen, I think it'll probably go a lot smoother than I just said that. I feel like we're all very kind here. So, we're just gonna go into it, and Sky's gonna start us off with what she watched, which was given to her by Jessie.
Me.
Yeah.
So I watched Someday or One Day.
Yay! Finally got her to get it.
A Taiwanese drama from 2019, which I think ever since Jessie watched it, we'll get into that later, but like it's been a thing between us that I was always supposed to watch this. So I did watch it. I knew that once I started watching it, I would probably want to binge the heckity heck out of it. So I very purposefully waited to watch my 2 episodes right before we had our podcast recording time. So I prevented myself from going further because it's one of those, there's twists and stuff. So I knew if I got too far, it would be difficult for me to remember what was only in the first 2 episodes, because it's definitely a show like that. And it's definitely, the first 2 episodes really don't go far, but I think as you keep going, there's more stuff. You can spoil the show for somebody.
Yes.
So like,
and you can accidentally do it. Yeah.
I'm really impressed with how good the internet's been about not spoiling it. Like, people really love this
People
drama
don't
so
want
much,
to do
and they're
that.
like, we don't want to ruin it for other people because we love it so much. And it's like,
we love that energy. We love to see it.
So I've actually, it's even a part of my 12 for 12 challenge. It has been on. So anyway, so I watched it. Nice. Very, very good. So it's Taiwanese drama. I already mentioned that. It exists in places. It does not exist on any struck places though. So
there you go. You know,
I wish to promote that aspect. It is not in any struck place.
because we also added an element of difficulty to this by saying don't pick something that's on one of the struck place.
Now, this, I really do think this was on a legal place.
I watched it on
long
Viki.
ago.
Yeah.
So like we were shocked it poofed is what happened with that. So
I feel like it's probably either something happening with the Korean version. Rights. Maybe there's something going on. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're not privy.
That would make
to
sense because 2019 really isn't that long ago to be yanked on something, unless once you start seeing adaptations, things kind of do get squicky sometimes. So like, I can see that. So as far as the first 2 episodes, it is about a gal who it's obvious she's grieving, and they're not even really overt with that for really the first episode. They eventually let you know what happened there, but and you kind of keep having, you're like, is this a flashback? Question mark. And I won't even say more about that. So like you kind of have two sets of happenings going on, and you have to be like, I don't quite follow, but this is lovely. Like that's the general vibe for a little bit. Lovely, but like it's bittersweet out of the gate. This is not gonna be a shocker of grief. It is grieving from the get-go. So like that would be main. Before you get into it, if you can't handle that, do not pass go. Put it aside for some other time. So like but very, very well acted. I really can't say that much because but and I will say, even 2 episodes in, do I know any large twists? No. Nope. I don't really know that much.
Or
so,
do you? I'm just kidding.
Or do I? Right. Like, I could sit here and make up stuff all day, but I'm not gonna do that. So, but I do want to say, this is what I can say. The concept of doppelgangers gets floated out there for people. That concept it starts getting mentioned even in episode 1 because someone's developing an app at her work. Like, that's a thing. It's a VR. So, like, doppelgangers start being... And it's not like, oh, immediately doppelgangers intrigue her or something. It's not like, oh, that's her special... No. Yeah. Like, so you kind of start being like, is this the thing? You don't know. You still don't know. So, but it's really good. I really can't say that much about it without, like...
Yeah, I'm sorry I did that to you.
No. And I will say, I even apologize that, like, we did pick one that is currently in places, but, like, we will be talking more about it some other time.
I'm sure it's going to show up. I
imagine it will show back up again, probably at some easy-to-grab space. Like, it's so popular that I doubt that it's going to languish in limbo for all that long.
And so they just recently did like produce a movie for it, like, and that is currently on Viki. So
that's kind of weird that one is, but the other one was moved. Yeah.
It's just that like Jessie wanted me to start with the drama. I wanted to start, so like drama first. I will probably then watch the movie. And then not, so anyway, it'll be a whole thing that we talk about more later. But, like, I really like the tone of the show. Pacing's really good as far as you already have a mystery going on. I even stuck around at the end of my 2nd episode to see the little teaser for the next episode. I was like, oh, really? Like, there's, like, mystery, like, more mystery stuff coming up. So I'm like, aha. I bet that got Jessie extra. I'm like, I bet she really liked that. So as far as my guess for why there's lots of reasons why I think Jessie picked this for me. It's on my 12 for 12. I don't think that's the reason she picked it for me, though.
No, it wasn't, no.
from the moment that Jessie watched it, she was like, someone else needs to watch this so I can talk to them about it. And I had always been interested in it. I just hadn't made time to do it. Also... Headspace was an issue for, like, this type of drama. I will say, because, like, right now, I didn't cry the first 2 episodes or anything, but to me, if you are raw with grief in any way, you probably would be you would be crying. Like, it would be...
1,000%,
Because you're watching someone very much go through, not really, oh, here's the stages of grief, but, like, 2 years worth of grief.
Yeah, she's in long grief. That's so, like, she's still processing and hasn't gotten over.
Right. So, like, and not just that character. So anyone else associated with that. So, like, and then her friends being concerned about her. So it's very, if you have any grief compromisation within your life, it would be raw for you. But if you're a little bit more distanced from that, it's a very good portrayal of it. It really, really is. And I will say there's even little side characters that are, like, cute and silly, but it's not to a, okay, I'm done with them level. Like, it's just enough to be like, oh, you're the cute side character at the office. I'm glad you're mostly at the office and you're just the friend that wants the birthday party. Like, that's fine. I will accept the silly friend. So that's cute. As far as Jessie knows, I'm gonna float the word time travel, but again, I know nothing. But I do like Groundhog Day type stuff, time travel stuff, time loop things. Associated with that are kind of doppelganger thingies, kind of like Grid. Like Jessie and I kind of bonded over Grid once upon. So like that type of thing. She knows that I like that. She knows I sometimes like bittersweet things. It does seem my speed, like Taiwanese drama. Like, we all like Taiwanese dramas, but like that was my start in drama world was Taiwanese stuff. I actually love this Greg guy because he was in a drama I've watched, and I want other people to watch that drama because he's a side character until suddenly he's not, and it's a thing, but like I can't make people watch it for him because he doesn't get enough screen time. Does that make sense? Like,
it does, but you can still name drop the drama.
Great actor.
You've intrigued me.
Let me go find there's a number in it, and I'm so crappy with remembering 4-digit numbers.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
meet me at 1006.
Okay.
As he is not one of the main 3 leads, so like that's why I could not push people to watch it because of him. It's more like I saw him in that, and that was years ago, so I watched it as it was currently airing back in 2018. He's a little side character. He was cute, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he kind of became a complicated character. Like that's interesting. But that's a really complicated drama too. Like, I think a lot of people would really not like it. Anyway, it's not a moment for me to recommend other dramas. Just saying.
I started watching it and dropped it, but not because it was bad, just because I wasn't there at the time. So, you know.
It's really heavy in spots and really light in spots, and it'll have entire episodes that stay in a certain tone. So for some people that would be really bothersome. Since I'm a Lego Lee fan, I was like all freaking about it and all that stuff. So, but anyway, I was introduced to him then. I knew he was a really good actor from that. He has such a cute little smile. Oh my goodness.
He does.
Like there are some people that have like their face, the way it's built, the smile takes up half their face whenever they're like fully smiling. He's one of those people, and it just looks really good on them. It's like, oh, like that's half your face now, and it looks awesome. Good for you.
I call them people with really kind faces. I'm always like, oh, you have such a kind face.
But then, if they suddenly play, like, a scary character, that can be really unsettling. Like, oh, not a kind face anymore. So, but someday or one day, I'm really looking forward to even the adaptations of it and stuff. I'm sure we'll talk more about it later. But, so those are my guesses about Jessie recommending it to me. Hit me, Jessie. Hit me with it.
Okay, you're pretty much right. So well, first of all, like, I always kind of like go on just like vibes or intuition. Like, it's just like if I feel it works for someone, that's like what works for me, because that's how like I pick a lot of stuff too. And it's just like, I don't know, it like subconsciously maybe I'm like compiling everything and being like, yeah, this is a thing. And I just thought, like, I knew that like pretty much everybody on the podcast would like really like it, but I just felt that like Sky would more connect with it, mostly because I felt that like the characters were like some of like her characters that she's liked in the past, or relationships in the past. So like I thought the relationships that like were coming out of it would be something you'd like. It's got this sci-fi element, some things that happen that are very much what she loves. It's a genre that she loves. I thought the tone was really good because it does do that kind of like, it has the kind of like happier, like sillier moments, but like it's mostly kind of in this thing. It just like felt like a story that like would like just really like felt Sky to me.
Yeah.
And like some of the things that happened, especially like I tried to I should have remembered to like rewatch both the episodes before coming on, so I would remember where things like are. But like a lot of like the school, like when they're younger, like time period, like the stuff that they do, I think like it's a lot of like what I've seen like in like school dramas that you've liked. There's also
there's introvert characters.
Yes.
Big fan of that energy.
There's also a really awesome song, and it's I'm so glad that the song is awesome because you hear it all the time, and it's
from the first moment. Like,
and it's like a thing that's like very central, like to the storyline. Like it's not just like Something in the Rain where you hear that one song. This is like it is a specific song for the story, and it's really great. And I was like, this is a song that's kind of like I mean, so yeah, it's just like it just feels like a Sky drama. It has all your like check points to like the genre and the relationships, and I do know that you like Taiwanese. It's what got you really in here for the most part is Taiwanese dramas. And it just like, even though I haven't seen all the Taiwanese dramas you have, I just felt it like if the people like those types of dramas, this would also be something that you would like too.
One thing I will say about my Taiwanese watching catalog, which is probably not as extensive as I'm making it out to be, and half of it is no longer valid for crappy people reasons. So that's a thing too. I will say a lot of them I've watched are kind of more on the goobery side of things. So as far as like kind of more of the moody Taiwanese ones, I haven't really stepped all that much into that yet. So it's great. It's awesome.
I think this drama has it's for the most part got a lot of like the kind of like melodrama aspects to it, but it does have like a good like in and out of it, but there are sometimes it is just really dark in its grief, and it's like I like that it is almost like it doesn't shy away from it to be like grief is messy and it's not imperfect, and like you have this girl who is, even with like a good family and like a good job and everything else, she still can't get out of it, and we are still going to show it, even though like on the outside she may look perfect and great, but like she is still, you know, in her feels. And then to add everything else that happens in the storyline, it just like it just works so well for this drama. Like I can't recommend it enough to people. I just think it's really great, and I want someone else to watch it. But like also felt that like Sky would genuinely like it. Like I didn't want to give her something that like she would then be like, I don't want to watch the next 11 episodes of it.
And what I want to say about the portrayal of grief that I really did appreciate was like she's successful in her work life. Like she's it's not that she is struggling in every aspect of her life anymore at this point, because like you know, it'll be her birthday and her friends want to take her out, and so she goes ahead and goes, and she puts on the brave face, and she does, you know, she tries to and then in the quiet moments grief finds you. And so like
you see the moments of like being at the head of someone who's grieving too. Like I think that like because I think a lot of people, that's where your grief lies. Like it's not just always like you kind of sitting and crying in front of people. It's like the moments where you're like about to go to sleep and then you remember a really great moment that you had with this person, and how like devastating it is that like you will never be able to make those moments again with that person. It's so good.
And or you can't control your dreams. That too.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
But like it's so good. After 2 episodes, it's so good.
Yeah, and like the spot on for me, the mystery of the show was like what really got me. Like it's got a huge mystery to it, and you're like, wait, what?
So I assumed it was like something else, which whatever. But like when I saw the teaser for episode 3, I was like, oh, that's like there's like mystery, like okay, like that's Jessie. Like I saw the Jessie flag.
It takes you on a journey, and I'm like
already the melodrama was already like super Jessie, and then I was like, oh, there's like a crime scene moment. I see a crime scene moment that equals Jessie.
No, it's all coming together.
We'll definitely do like a whole podcast on it, but like I'm actually really excited to rewatch it because it's, even when like I kind of like rewatched the first episode a little bit like before we started recording, I'm already picking up on things that like went right above my head the first time, when like because I went in not knowing anything about it really, just that like I probably should watch it, and then I did it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is. Okay, yeah, I'm here. And then I think I like even binged it. Like I think it only took me like 2 days.
Yeah,
to
you watched it fast. Like, you're like, everyone needs to watch it now.
Can you please thanks?
Please, I beg of ye. I beg.
No.
So what did you watch, Jessie? What did Amanda have you watch?
So Amanda picked a little. I'm gonna assume it's actually a web drama for real. There's no really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, so. And my drama list says web series, and I watched it on YouTube. So, I mean, I'm gonna go with that. Like, it was officially a web drama, and not just like something that showed up on Japanese TVs. It's called Kitchen for Singles. It's also a 2019 drama. It's a little drama, essentially about a woman who's single. And it shows her in her like kind of like basically after she gets off work, she comes home, maybe a little bit of a thing happens, and then she's like, I gotta make some food, and she makes some food, and then they show the recipe. So it's like a straight on food drama, which is my thing. I watch them a lot. There's not a lot to like explain about the drama itself, because it really is just this. They're tiny little like I think it's like 6 or 7 minute episode or a minute long episodes, and they pretty much kind of follow the same thing. It's like one girl and her like they show some insight into her because she is single, and so she has kind of like moments of retrospection about that and stuff like that. But she also talks about things like, you know, how she like seen like the movie where they had the line where like you make your house a home with like the things that just spark you joy. And so then she's like, it shows around her like really great apartment that I really want. And it just shows you. And then she goes right into like, oh, I've got some like potatoes that I need to cook, and so I'll make this. And, you know, it's a standard like food drama, where like, you know, you see her prepare the food and then she has it, and then they do a little recipe at the end of it so you can make it yourself.
That's nice. I love when they do that.
I know, I do too. I'm watching another one right now that just dropped on Viki, and they don't sub the recipe cards, and they're actual like it's a like an end card, and it has a picture of the food, and it like has it like all typed up, and it's really nice. And I'm like, I can't read any of that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Come on now. I want to know.
Anyway. So I think Amanda picked it because it's like spot on, like the kind of like J-drama that I like, because I've watched many a series like this where its main focus is creation of a recipe at the thing. It is quieter too. Like, so like it does have that kind of like quietness that like I like, the kind of like slice of life element to it. It's also a J-drama, so I think that's why she picked it for me. It's because it was a J-drama. Those are like the main things that I think are like it on why Amanda picked it, and I really enjoyed it. I purposely didn't want to watch it all just in case things developed in the storyline that like I would like, because we had planned, like, just so you know, we planned this episode like a very long time ago, so it was like long enough that I could have watched the full thing and then forgotten where episode 2 ended if I didn't go back to it. So I like purposely did it, but I am gonna complete the series, not just because it's small, but because I genuinely really liked the drama itself, because it's just like a really nice little like sweet thing. And she, like the main character, you want to know more about her because she's like single, but she's still just like well, you know, I think I like my life. You know, it's kind of like, just like, it's not that bad, but like, you know, sometimes it is a little bit lonely or something like that. So, yeah.
So, Amanda, right? Why did you pick it for her?
I mean, it was Jessie, so I wanted something Japanese, obviously. And I initially thought, oh, maybe I'll try and find something scary for her. But it was like, that's just not me, right? Yeah. And like, probably she will have already watched it. And she, you know, I was just like, and then I was going through bookmarks for a Noonas, and I came up with this bookmark that I had done at some point. Somebody on Twitter was like, here's a bunch of J-dramas that are subbed on YouTube. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I should look at this. Do I still need... And then I saw that one, and I was like, Kitchen for Singles. Wait. And so I went and looked it up and stuff, and I was like, Jessie, this is the one. I'm going to test this to Jessie. It's Japanese, it's slice of life, it's cozy and cooking, and like...
Amanda was, and the angels were singing.
Like, yeah, I was like,
okay. Yeah, I think it was like immediate, like pretty much immediately, like we like figured out who was going and like who had which drama, and then Amanda was like, hi, here.
Here you go.
I mean, I watched the first couple episodes too, and then I was a little bit, because I didn't realize how short the episodes were, so then I was like, oh, did I like, maybe, is this going to be like one of those, you know, like ingredients or something where it's like an advertising, you know, and is it going to get annoying? But like the first few episodes, it really didn't.
It really isn't. It's like really nice. And like she, like, it's mostly like, it's like almost like her talking to herself as the narrator, but like she's still talking to herself. And so she'll talk about like what she's doing for like her recipes. Like the second episode was on spring rolls, and she was, you know, talking about like, and then you put this in the sauce and this in the sauce, and it's really nice. And like, you know, and there's like a moment where she's talking to her friend, like, so you get like little glimpses of like her outside life, but like you really are like, at least in these first two episodes, only in like the living area of her apartment. That's what you see.
I did like too in the first couple episodes anyway, I can't remember if I've watched 2 or 3, but like they're all vegetarian recipes. So I was like,
yeah, they are.
Like, this is
even
like,
better.
Oh yeah.
What I did kind of wonder is like she has like a box of vegetables, and so I kind of wondered if it was like maybe supposed to be advertising some sort of like
maybe like a farm or like a
thing or fresh farm, you know, thing, but they don't seem to like, it doesn't pop up a big title card at the end like,
no, it doesn't,
Hello Fresh or anything like that. It you know, so I'm like,
kind of like how some web dramas, it's like, this is from the tourism industry, this is from this grocery store.
But, I guess when I saw that they were vegetarian recipes, I was like, oh, that's extra nice. Like, it's just
extra tempting.
Yeah, and like it's just like, it's so pretty too, and like her place is so like, I remember like the first episode, I was like looking around, I was like, oh my gosh, I want her style of everything. It's just great, and like her apartment's really great. And then like just like 3 minutes later, she's like, I did this because like it brings me joy, and you're supposed to like just surround yourself. And like she has this like really sweet moment where she was like, you know, she's kind of like talking about like, you're adults, you're supposed to do this and this and this, and she's like, but, and then she just starts dancing, and it's like really nice and sweet and artistic. It's very like indie vibed as well. Like the shots are really like nicely set up, and like everything like just is incorporated really well. And she like takes a picture of her like food too. She has like a little like point and shoot camera that she just like takes a picture of like her stuff, and it's really nice. I think everybody on this podcast is going to like it, and I think like most people like listening would get something out of it. It's a very, very comforting drama. Like it's very nice, sweet, like pretty. Like the first two things that she's like made are very like warm and comforting too, and they're just like, she's like, oh, I've got this like potato that I need to use up, and I've got milk to use up. Here you go. Yeah.
Cute.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Amanda did good.
Amanda did great.
Yes.
Yay!
Pat yourself on the back. You did a good job.
Well, Natalia also did great. So, Natalia picked for me today's webtoon, which is a Vicky original.
Okay.
It stars Sejong, so I mean, right there.
Mm-hmm. The cast alone, I was like, okay.
Okay.
And Trey Daniel, and like, you know, it's just adorable.
My mom's boyfriend, Trey Daniel.
So, I mean, it's got a sports element. The main character is a former judo competitive player. She's injured, and after her injury, in her rehabilitation time, she really got into webtoons. They helped her while she was bedridden and stuff to just find a new enjoyment in life. And now she wants to bring that enjoyment to other people. So she really wants to work for a webtoon company, helping to put these things out into the world. She's not artistic. She's not trying to like suddenly take up drawing. She just wants to like facilitate. And I was sort of thinking in my brain, if I had to like put it in somehow into like a Venn diagram world kind of thing, it's like for me, it's like if Hot Stove League and A Poem a Day gave birth to Pretty Proofreader, it would be this movie. Or this drama. So like it's got a very Pretty Proofreader type of vibe to it in this sense, like, but in a K-drama, you know, like it's not got the J-drama vibe, but this idea of this girl who is in an office that she has no actual experience with it beyond she likes webtoons and she thinks she should have a job. Like,
and she's so earnest. She's just earnest, and like, you know.
And she, you know, she goes to her...
And she is plucky without it being, like, too stereotypical.
Annoying.
She is plucky.
It's really good. Like, she has... It's got that right balance. Like, she seems normal. She's not, like, overly. She's not... There are sort of pratfallish type things, but they're not really pratfalls. It's more like... somebody tries to steal your purse and she knows judo, so like they wind up on the ground. Like, you know, it's not but like she basically gets hired because her boss is a really big sports fan. So the fact that she's an athlete, he's like, no, we need her. And they're like, she has no experience. And he's like, she has athletic experience, and for her to get as high as she was in that takes dedication, it takes a willingness to learn, he's like, I can teach her skills, but like the things she has, you can't teach people. Those are things that you either have or you don't. So I can teach her how to do the job, but I like her drive and I want her here. So he goes to bat for her because she does not get hired in the like corporate hiring thing. She's very disappointed. And then she gets a phone call a few days later, like, hey, but you did get hired. And she's like, what? So, and there's just, I mean, I'm on episode like 9 or 10. I did
Perfect.
Not stop.
So you like it?
I'm not going to. So,
and it is based on a webtoon, right? Did I dream that aspect of it?
I think it is.
I think it's a webtoon.
Maybe.
Yes, it's adapted from actually a manga series.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not a webtoon, so like a Japanese manga, Juhan Shikai.
Oh.
So, but it's
and I think there is actually a Japanese version on Viki as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So, yeah, like, it does, there's no particular romance line to it. Like, there is an office puppy who provides some eyeballs and stuff at this point, but, like, it's kind of cute at this point that I'm in it. He clearly has a big crush on her, and she is just really in love with her job. She just loves her job.
She just doesn't notice that much.
So
she's spunky, dag nabbit.
She's very career minded.
Just wants to do her job and enjoy it, and she wants other people to do their jobs and to be good at it, and she really loves helping the artists to be the best they can be. And it's neat to see the journey that she's taking, where she's going from knows nothing to like taking the advice and taking the things and moving with that, and but adding her own spin to it and adding aspects and to all of these different things that she comes across, because there's different problems that different writers have, and they are doing a really good job of showing how you can suffer as an artist, or you can thrive, or you can do both sometimes, and how having like an editor or somebody who knows how to push you the right way can be very helpful to the artist who's, driven to create but isn't always focused on the end goal. They're just doing their thing, right? So it's and it's got some like, later on there's some characters introduced that have some pretty heavy backstories and heavy plot lines that go on. She starts to produce what's essentially a sort of like horror type comic, and the author draws horror because they have horror in their life, and it's intense at times. Like they show a little bit, like not too intense. Like obviously, like I'm watching it and I'm loving it.
If it was like straight up intense, like, it wouldn't have made.
Yeah, no, like it's just
like gotcha, we'll do it.
Welcome to fall. No, I'm not a mean person generally.
One thing that I want to, because I've only watched like the first episode-ish. One thing I did want to say is like it was obvious that at the time the like webtoon department or whatever, like they were really struggling. Like they needed to hit some goal, blah blah blah. So they were having like a crisis of motivation, kind of the moment that she got hired on. And with her type of character, I didn't even watch much past that, but it was pretty obvious that it was like, oh, she's the type of character that they need to, like...
Be positive.
Be positive and, like, be happy about her, excited about her job, and kind of remind them why they're doing the job that they're doing in the first place, kind of, to kind of reignite their... It was obvious it was going to be like, oh, they're going to remember why they love their job. Like, she's going to help them remember that. That's cute.
Like, there's... The thing in it is that there's somebody who went through the interviewing process at the same time as her, was actually hired by the company, and he's been put into the webtoon department as well. And they have some very different attitudes about it. Like, he never reads comics, never read, so he feels like he's being punished by the company, being put in this crappy little... And there's... At one point, they have a conversation where he has heard from other like friends in the company that this department's on the chopping block and it maybe has a year left. And he's like, you shouldn't be putting so much faith in this company and so much, because you're going to be gone in a year. You're going to be gone. And her thing is like, that's terrible. I'm going to do the best I can while I've got, with the time I've got. Like, I will learn all the things. I will do all the stuff, and maybe we won't get fired, and maybe we will, but I still am going to do this job and be the best I can at it. And then he starts to have a bit of a like turnaround, like, oh, maybe I should have a different attitude about my job. Like, so, but it's lovely. I love it.
So why did Natalia pick it for you?
I think because it's, fun. Like it's a pretty fun light drama. There's a sports character in it. There's sports, and there's a kind of a sports theme through it. Like there's a sports comic at one point. There's like the sports thing keeps coming back up. So that's always a nice push for me. It's Sejong. It's, you know, it's for the most part a bubbly, fun. I want to say rom-com, but even though it's not really right now, anyway, like there's more than halfway in, there's not any romance. So, not any real romance anyway. So, but it's just got that vibe. It's just a friendly, light, fun, enjoyable show. So
we're all correct in those assessments. Okay, so like how it sort of went down was this wasn't even my first pick, but like everything I was like, oh, maybe she'd like this. It was either you had already watched it or it was on your drop list. I was like, okay, and I was like, I'm like, there's no way, like this isn't there, like there's no way, like, and then I looked and it wasn't there, and I was like, ha ha ha, I've got you now, Amanda. But yeah, there was like it had everything in it that we've, you know, learned that you like in dramas. So I was like, perfect. This is a perfect one that was probably overlooked, like just because it doesn't seem like it would have all of like the sports elements and the.
I
remember
when it came out being excited to watch it, and I don't know why I didn't at the time. You know, sometimes stuff just slips by in.
Yeah,
it
happens.
Like,
No.
So I was just like, this is perfect. I think she's gonna love it, and I'm actually really glad that you do, because sometimes we think something's gonna land and then it like doesn't, and you're like, ooh, sorry about that.
Well, sometimes it might even land, but like because the person's busy, or if they already have a couple dramas that they're spending their time, like sometimes it can't land just because of circumstances too, or just mood or something, and that doesn't really have anything to do with really how compatible the person is with the drama. It's just kind of like the moment in time, the timing.
No, but good job, Natalia. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anytime. Speaking of like dramas that like someone meant to watch and then like didn't watch, and then like always meant to watch anyway, and then this was.
I want to preface something before Natalia gets talking. So when we started this whole thing, everyone's like, Natalia is the hard mode for who you get.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's not because I'm hard to pick dramas for.
No.
I'm actually incredibly easy to like suggest dramas to, because I will watch anything.
I know. But thing is, I follow Natalia's watching closely enough. Like I generally which is not like, there have been times I don't think she's following stuff. She's like, oh, I'm halfway through that. So like I've been proven wrong. But like with anyway, Alchemy of Souls, that was a whole funny moment.
That was a whole thing,
So, but like, whenever, I really wasn't that scared when everyone was like, oh, it's gonna be tough. I'm like, there are even some that I have like on my hold, like that I just haven't finished yet, that I know, I knew Natalia would like these dramas, and I kind of, since I haven't heard her ever talk about them, it kind of made me wonder if she'd really, because even though she watches so many,
that's why
there are
hard
some
with Natalia. She watches so much stuff,
right?
So like
much less,
like
much less when
the
added difficulty of from no struck platforms. So like that was the added level, right? And so like, but because I already had a few, like, and I even narrowed it down to one specific platform. I was like. There are already a couple, and then I kind of got shocked, and as I was looking at her list, I was like, aha, this. So like I was checking with her, I'm like, this one, I'm like, aha. So
okay, so the drama she picked for me was Sell Your Haunted House. I need to preface this by saying I had actually already watched the first episode,
but only one,
right?
But only the first episode, and then it was one of those where I'm like, oh, it was the week it came out. Like I watched it like the day it came out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. And then because brain don't work good, and I don't remember anything, I then proceeded to forget to keep watching the drama.
Meanwhile, Sky during that entire, we were like, oh god,
they're like, when's Natalia gonna watch this fucking drama? When she gonna watch the drama? Anyway, turns out I started watching the drama. And
so this was my excuse. Go watch the drama.
So and as predicted, by by me when I watched the first episode and by both Sky and Jessie when they watched the whole drama. I love it. So the
I think Amanda might have watched some of it too. At least
I watched the whole thing also. Like I am surprised because we talked about it so much.
Yeah, it was during a time period where I wasn't watching that much, and Sell Your Hot House was like the main thing I watched that year.
Like I remember like Sky and I like watching it like when it dropped and then talking to each other like on Messenger. We were like dedicated to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a quick little.
I think it was the first.
I have a suspicion.
COVID year.
No, that wouldn't have been it. Like what? I just want to know like what came out around that same time because I feel like it's something
to distract
else
you
that came out that I was like, woo, and I thought it might have been Cutie Pie, but that was the next year.
Not that that takes all that much time. Cutie Pie.
Listen, it may not take any like. It may not take a lot of time in the.
It takes a long time when you keep on rewatching it. Sure,
it takes a lot of time when it just owns your soul. But anyway, Sell Your Haunted House. So, for anyone who hasn't seen it, which I'm the shame eyes I'm getting right over here. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it's about a woman who is the daughter of a famous exorcist, and she's an exorcist herself, and she runs a very specialized, with her super cool business associate, real estate agency, where they only sell haunted houses, where she goes in and exorcises the haunted house, and then they sell it, and everyone makes money, and it's all a good time. But in order to exorcise, she needs a medium who can be possessed by said ghost, and she's been working with this young guy, but he's like, he's not as powerful as she wants him to be, because her house where she lives is haunted by the ghost of her dead mother, who is a very strong ghost. So she's been searching for the perfect medium. In walk shifty con man, played by Jung Young Hwa, who was that was enough. Like the two main like Jangnara and Jung Young Hwa. That's enough for me to get me in. I don't care what the plot is. I'm in. But luckily the plot is also great. He's like a con man who pretends to be an exorcist and creates fake ghosts to get people to pay him to like exorcise the ghost, because he's a researcher and like paranoid. He's not. He's just full of shit. But it turns out he's like a super powerful medium. And then bing bang boom. She hates con men, but she needs him. And he's also running from these gangsters, and these gangsters are also trying to redevelop her neighborhood and buy her house that is haunted by her mother from her. And she's like, fuck y'all, get out of here. So I was only supposed to watch the first 2 episodes. I didn't. Okay, like I did watch the first 2 episodes, but I watched the first 7 episodes because I'm gonna tell you what. I actually watched them all yesterday, the day before we recorded this, and everyone sitting here is like, "Wait a second, Natalia, you were in a car all day yesterday," because I took a 16-hour straight car ride from America to Canada yesterday. But what? I wasn't driving because I don't have a driver's license. So what else am I going to do? Yeah, no, I was like, I wasn't only a passenger princess, I was a backseat passenger princess. Like, I wasn't even in the front seat. Like, I was relegated to
the youngest in the family.
Yeah,
you really
I was
were just the...
I was Tetrised in amongst all of the, the suitcases. I was essentially just luggage at that point. So I was like, what a perfect way to spend time. I just want to tell you, I went through, I just wanted snuggles and I got struggles was like the vibes of what happened, because I was like, great, it's on Kokowa. Kokowa has a download function. I'm just going to PSA slightly for anyone listening. I was like, I'm going to download it on Kokowa. And then I was like, I've never actually like watched things offline on Kokowa before. Because like Kokowa's downloads, like you can only download like 20 videos at once. Like, so it's, if you're like a 30 episode drama, well, you ain't watching that whole drama. But anyway, so I downloaded the first couple and then I turned off my Wi-Fi just to, took forever to download, by the way. Slow download speeds on Kokowa. And then I opened it up and it won't load anything if your Wi-Fi's not on. So you can't even access the downloads, which defeats the purpose.
Like pointless. Absolutely.
So listen, I want you all to really like give me props for my dedication, because I then went and upped my Viki subscription to Viki Plus so that I could download the first 8 episodes.
But you had already watched the first 2, which were required for this episode. So
I'd only watched the first 1 at this time.
Okay.
So I watched it again, and then I watched the first 7 episodes. And even the Viki downloads, you only get it for 2 days. So I was like, well, I'm going to watch it in this car. So I braved motion sickness. I braved being,
But again, you only needed to watch 2 episodes. You didn't have to watch them.
I was going above and beyond.
One does not argue with Jang Nara in a suit and a trench coat. You just watch it.
My emo queen. Yes. So as to why I think Sky picked this for me, I feel like the vibes of her describing why she picked it for me already may have given it away, that I think she was like, it's time. All right? I let you sit here and not watch it long enough. It's time. Get it together. You're gonna like this. You already know you're gonna like this show. Like, watch it. You know, I know, we all know. And it was a correct statement. I did like the show. She knows how much I like Jang Nara. She knows how much I like, oh my god, my mind just went, Jung Young Hwa. Like, hell, I even like, Kang Hong Suk, who plays his, like, little
buddy.
Little dude. Like, I love everything. It's perfect. It's wonderful. So she knew, she knows me pretty well. And
it's also... It's for the bisexuals. We gotta throw that part in there.
It definitely is.
Also, one thing I do want to highlight about the show just really quickly is it is not a romance. Just straight up telling people that. And that is an aspect I really liked about the show, because there was enough going on. And they got to be friends and coworkers, and I thought that was pretty darn cool, because you don't get that very often.
I like their banter. They have good banter.
But usually, if you have really good banter, all of a sudden, usually it's like, oh, now we're dating. Usually that's what happens.
Banter, just jokes. That banter with sexual tension. And all of us watching was like, no, it wasn't.
That was just banter.
Just banter.
What are you talking about? Get it out of here.
So this really, there was never a big, like, weirdness with that. It was always like, we banter and we're coworkers, and now we trust each other, yay. Like, I really appreciated that.
I love that.
I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to finish watching it this week, because I'm already 7 episodes in. I'm able to keep going. And I think y'all should check it out too. Not y'all on this podcast, y'all listening, because apparently I'm the only one. I'm so behind.
That's why you needed to watch.
I was just distracted by whatever else. Now I'm like,
we found one that like all 3 of us have watched, and Natalia had it.
Like, this is like an unseen thing. It's like I just like, I want to know what came out at that same time. That my brain.
I looked it up. The law school, and I Married an Anti-Fan.
I did love I Married an Anti-Fan.
Dark Hole, Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver.
It might have been.
She is the one.
It might have been that.
Love Scenery, yeah.
Like, there was, there was quite, you know what? I think I just found what it was. I think I'm looking. The dates, they line up, and I'm almost embarrassed to say what drama it was.
Oh, let me guess. I got it. Tharn Type.
That wasn't Tharn Type. That came out before that. Get out of here. But it was not far from that. It was Fish Upon the Sky. I'ma just see myself out. I'ma just oh wait.
You were missing out on Jang Nara in a suit.
For
that. I had my sweet little gay dentist student. Like, leave me alone.
You're allowed to. I'm just saying.
He had a makeover.
You made Jang Nara in a suit wait for you until now. You had her seated waiting for you. Just letting you know.
So, yeah. Is that why you picked it for me? Was it Jagnara in a seat?
No, I just think it's a funny thing to highlight that you made her wait that long.
I did.
Actually, I the vibes of the show, very fall vibes. Like, it doesn't have to be fall vibes, but like as far as the way Westerners, the way we conceptualize of like, oh, it's September, kind of starting to be spooky season, you know, blah blah blah. Okay, Sell Your Haunted House. Like, just saying, it's very. And as far as, can everybody handle Sell Your Haunted House? No, I do think there are going to be people it's a little too spooky for you.
It's. I will say that, like, if you are a fan of Jagnara, this is like one of her like most straight, like very little comedy, like if at all, like really. Like, I think it has some stuff, but I wouldn't actually qualify it as like a comedy as like a
and
tag,
definitely like not
you
her
know?
character.
Yeah,
like,
it's not her at all, which is very much like not like her other like at least top roles. So it's like a kind of a drastic change, but it's also really great because you can see her actual range on her acting, and it's spectacular.
Like, as far as, and she doesn't even do Jagnara puppy eyes, really. Like, that's not an aspect of her character. Like, that's just the character's totally different from a lot of the other stuff that she does. It's really cool. But I do think so, like, because there's the reason I say the creep factor.
The ghosts are creepy.
The egg face ghost thing, like, some people really can't handle that. So, like, and what I mean by egg face, so it kind of erases people's face. And so some people really can't. So, like, if you think, ew, that is a thing. Like, it comes up some. And then the way the ghosts do move, and, like, the process of the exorcism thing is kind of creepy. So, like, I mean, I handled it fine, but I do think, I do think there are some people that might tap out from it, though. So
yes, I do.
I'm looking at like some other ones that came out around the same time, and I'm realizing. Listen, I'm still looking, and I'm realizing that there was a Lovely Writer came out then too. It was just
we're sure you were busy. It's fine. I'm not blaming you.
Just remember, a lot of temptation for old Natalia at that time.
I'm just giving you a hard time because like I prefaced, it is difficult to find something that Natalia hasn't watched, much less that Natalia hasn't watched that the other three of us have and enjoyed. Like,
that's
rarely happens, especially this long after the show. So, like, sometimes that might happen for a month or something. But then she'll play catch up, and we don't even know about it. And boom, she's watched.
I'm so secret. I'm like a little ninja. You never know when I'm going to finish watching.
So as far as her still not having gone farther than an episode, like, you know, it's just rare.
How exciting!
There was a lot of stuff coming out at that time that I was watching currently, so it like kind of makes sense.
When you search "Sell Your Haunted House" at Ghost, my blog is the third entry.
Ooh.
I am above a soupy because I have a whole post on it.
Wow.
And kind of a funny thing, my brain wasn't like working right, and I was typing in. I had to on all of our shows up on my drama list, and I typed in "Marry Your Haunted House" on MDL, and all that came up was Jung Young Hwa's like little like artist profile. I'm like, I see what you're doing here, my drama list. Like, I get it.
That's so funny.
So yeah, that was some. How did this drama exchange go? Did we enjoy this?
I loved it.
I think it's cute that the way it is on our screen right now, like the bottom half here just went on basically vibes, and the top half went on, you need to watch this. Like, get to it.
Get to it now.
No excuse. You have to watch it now.
So yeah, maybe we'll be coming back with another episode of this in a little while.
I think we should.
I think
so.
It's fun.
Say yes, please.
So I think I'll enjoy this. Anyway, thank you for listening to us. We'll be back next week with another fresh, hot episode off the presses. We hope you have a fantastic week. You can listen to us wherever podcasts can be found. Our episodes are also on YouTube, of course, as per usual, where we also do live streams. So we have some good times over there on the YouTube from time to time. And, you know, if you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join the Found Family. They're a Found Family on the web. We get the little extras. We have movie night. It's super fun. And we have a great time over there. And the Found Family is sick. You can find us on all social media, so long as it lasts. But we also have a private Discord server that I call it private, but anyone can join. As long as you're respectful and cool, you're welcome on the Noonas Discord server. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. Please wear a mask and wash your hands. Please, I'm begging of you now. Like, COVID be bad right now.
Really
it's bad. It's bad. So please take care of yourself and do all those things to protect yourself and your community. And as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.